Gather up your projects, settle in your favorite spot. It's time to stitch with Sarah at her Stitchy Camelot. Let's celebrate each other, this community we've got. It's time to get down to Sarah's Stitchy spot.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah. Welcome to my FlossTube channel, where we will discuss and celebrate all things cross-stitch. Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and join me
at Sarah's Stitchy spot.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is FlossTube number 80. Wow, it is Wednesday, July the 30th. We've almost put that one in the books, haven't we, of the year 2025. And I would like to take this moment to welcome each and every one of you to my FlossTube channel. As I do at the beginning of every video, I want to send all my kisses, all my hugs, and much, much, much of my love to my husband, Stan, for writing and performing the intro song that you just heard. If you are new to my FlossTube channel, welcome. I hope you will like what you see, that you will subscribe, share, ring the bell, like, and do all the things that we do on FlossTube. You will be a part of an incredible group of people, which are my returning subscribers and viewers. Hello, it's so good to see all of you back again. You all know what you mean to me. So I have got a lot of stuff here on the table, which is wonderful because I am very excited to share it with all of you. So let's just jump in. First of all, the news on Stan. We did have our second opinion with the cardiologist, and they do think that the stent into the left side, because he's already had the right side done, the stent is going to be the probably the best way to go, rather than actually having the surgery where they open up the neck, go in and remove the plaque from the carotid. So that is scheduled for August 14th. It is an overnight stay, but Stan promised he will behave himself, and we will really go home the next day. And then that should take care of the carotids. And so we're really very excited about that. And as always, so much, I am so grateful for all of the prayers, the good thoughts, the support that you guys have given Stan and I. It means more than you can ever know. So, well, what has happened since I've seen you last? Well, we had Zoom number 19. Wow. Our surprise guest, FlossTuber, was Audrey of Stitch Bead. But we were just slam-packed with celebrities. We had Emily of Emily Williams. She has a FlossTube, and she has also been a guest, surprise guest FlossTuber. We had Janet, who I just shouted out last week, my mother's daughter, KY. She has a brand new FlossTube. Everyone in the group was incredible and showed so much beautiful stitching. We had this really beautiful dynamic with everyone, and I just can't tell you how much I enjoy them. So the next Zoom is scheduled for August 10th, which will be a Sunday, from 12 to 2 Pacific Daylight Savings Time. And let's just jump in and give the names that I picked through the the generator picker thing. Okay, so let's go. Desiree Feister 2633, stitchinwithsandi, Craftydoki, Connie Steele 7213, thomicreates, M. Thomas 1937, Serrana Stitches 2308, KristineSearle, clareKalantar, and Kathy Decker 889. And again, that was a combination of being picked from your comments and putting Zoom, and then I filled up the 10 with by picking a random number from the Google form. So if you haven't filled out the Google form and your name was called, please go, we'll have a link in the description box below that will take you to the Google form, and you can fill that out. I will have your email so that I can send you the link just prior to the 10th. Now, the next one would be August 24th. I'm not gonna be able to do one that Sunday because Mira has a violin concert. And of course, Stan and I want to be there to support her on that. And the 23rd, the Saturday before, is also Eva's birthday. And, you know, never really know that something might come up there as well. So the next one is too far out for me to even think about and confuse you with. So when we come back for FlossTube 81, I will have you put Zoom in the comment. We will pick the names and we should be ready. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Put Zoom in the comment. Anytime I say that, don't listen to me. Put Zoom in the comment this time, just so there's no confusion if you would like to Zoom. It's just that higher something that that all of this confuses me with. But anyway, so those are the 10 names. I will also have them listed in the description box below with the link for the Google form. And I can't wait to meet all of you and re-meet some of you again. So, all right, so that was the Zoom. Now, a little housekeeping. I had a giveaway generously donated by Lorene for the Nashville 2024 cookbook. And the winner I announced last FlossTube was Fluffy Turtles. And I have not heard from Fluffy Turtles. So I'm going to give it one more FlossTube. And if I haven't heard anything by the time I'm ready to record in 2 weeks, I will draw another or have a random picker for another name based off of the comments from the original FlossTube. So, okay, so we've got that. The winners for Clara Ellen, which is I thought I brought her out here. Did I? Let's see. Maybe I didn't. But Clara Ellen by Blackbird Design. I had 2 of those, and I picked 2 winners, and they are, oh, here it is. Let's show it. So it's Clara Ellen. It is one of the anniversaries of the heart by Blackbird Designs. And the names that were drawn for that are Mary Twombly and Jane K-03M. So I will have flashed the cards across for those winners. And if you will send me by my email that's in the description box below your address, I will get those off to you in the mail. So congratulations, and thank you for participating and just being a part of the party that is our FlossTube, right? Okay, so I plan to do, as I said last time, I am going to give away this time the Cotton and Twine box for July, which is this fabulous bee designed by Yasmin, made with love. So there will be the pattern, there will be the candies, there will be this lovely little canvas bag that says Pretty Little Things, the tea bag. You know, I like this tea so much, I found it on Amazon and I'm drinking it, so it's very good tea. It will be the 32 count linen, And then this is the color palette. So all the colors will be there with the needle and the frame. I mean, that's how fabulous these boxes are. So because of the frame and the weight, I am going to ask this, and it hurts me to say it, but for it to be U.S. Residents only, and the key word will be B, B-E-E. So if you are interested in getting this fabulous box, which was the July Cotton and Twine box from the Historical Sampler Company, just put B in your comment, along with Zoom in your comment, and then we'll have a winner for that. So let's see where we are. I did want to make an announcement. Janet of My Mother's Daughter, KY, and Karen, the recovering monogamous stitcher, are doing a stitch along, and it is going to be a start date of September 1st with the planned finish of Memorial Day of 2026. So this is obviously for the 250 years celebration that will be coming up next year. And they have picked the two charts, Stars by Plum Street Samplers and Stripes, which is by Shakespeare's Peddler. So, you know, they are smalls, and so could be done by Memorial Day next in 2026. So I wanted to make that announcement. So if any of you are interested in that, I will run the hashtag on the screen, but it's hashtag Stars and Stripes Sal. And so if any of you are interested, please join Janet and Karen, and you'll get your pieces ready for next year. Okay, I had two new FlossTubers that I wanted to shout out. The first one is Leslie, and her FlossTube is a nurse and her needle. And she lives in Wisconsin. She has a beautiful variety of projects. She did do a whip parade to start, and she is just a natural in front of the screen. She has a pleasant voice, and so I want us to all go over there and subscribe and welcome Leslie to this fabulous community. Very exciting was Carlos. Isn't that awful? I don't know the name of his FlossTube, but you know I will run it across. But Carlos just released his first FlossTube. Now, what is exciting about Carlos is that he has just started cross-stitching. And so he doesn't have a lot of whips. He doesn't have a lot to show, but he has a plan, and he shows, you know, the new charts that he would like to work on. But he is a new stitcher, and we really, really want to go and encourage him. He lives in Texas, has a beautiful voice, very calming, and a beautiful smile. So if you could go, and of course, I'll have it linked below. And Carlos, I'm sorry, I didn't notice the name. And give him one of the great FlossTube community welcomes. That'll be wonderful. And then Andrew, the runner stitcher, I don't know what to do about that guy, but he did a whip parade. But Andrew always is looking outside the box. He's to make it just a little different. So he had his partner, Andrew, rank his pieces by the one he liked most to the one he liked least. And so the whip parade follows that saga. So, you know what I said? I said it had you on the edge of your seat. Which one is he going to not like? And so it's a wonderful take. So I had to throw that out there. If you guys haven't seen Andrew, the runner stitcher, his whip parade, which he just released, go take a look at that. And I told him at one point I had a couples therapist on speed dial, but we didn't need it. It just went fine. So, okay, now, where are we? I think we're at shares, and oh my goodness, oh, do we have some fabulous shares. So let's dive right in. I'm going to take a drink and we'll go. So the first one is from Desiree, and Desiree I'm going to get to meet because Desiree was picked to be in the next Zoom. And she sent me her finish of Winter Whale by the Blue Flower. She stitched this on a 36 count with Sunday. That's probably got a special pronunciation, but with Sunday by number 12 Stitch Co. And she used the called for Roxy Floss Co. flosses. So thank you, Desiree, and I'm looking forward to meeting you. Anita, oh, this was stunning, sent her finish of African Woman Watercolor, and that is by Shine Star X Stitch on Etsy. And she did this on a 28 count Lugana, Mellow Stone from the Farmer's Attic on Etsy. She used the called for DMC and stitched that 2/2, and it's stunning. Angie, that I refer to a lot because she's given me so much support with 1/1 stitching, and she completed the Heart's Content by Splendor 2. The stitch count on this was 525 by 177. She did it on a 32 count limestone Lugana, 1/1, and the finished size is 5.5 by 16.5 inches, and it is gorgeous. Angie, thank you so much for sharing that beautiful piece with us. We have pieces from Anka, which is always a delight. So we'll just get started with those. The first one is This is Summer, Part 1, and that's from the Seasons in the Garden by Jeanette Douglas. She used silks from Stash on 36 count Little Bunny by XJU Designs. The next piece is One Nation by Samplers Not Forgotten. She did this one on a 36 count Old Sheep Linen by XJU Designs with the called for threads. Next, we have Needlebook by MTV, which is Maria Teresa Vitali. And the chart and the wooden accessories for this piece can be ordered from Maria's website, which I will list below. And her final piece is Caroline Sampler and Sewing Bag by Stacy Nash. This was stitched on 36 count Frosty Aqua from XJU Designs. So Anka, as always, thank you so much for these beautiful pieces. Deborah, the Shingle Spring Stitcher, finished Winter Wonderland, which was such an inspiration because I have that started and I need to work on it. By Blackbird Designs. She did this on a 40 count Miss Die by Those Missing Stitches, and she used the called for threads. She also finished Rosy Morning by Blackbird Designs, and this is an out of print chart, and she stitched this on 40 count One More Reproduction by Bestitch Me with the called for threads. And then her final finish was Winter Sampler by Birds of a Feather. And this one was stitched on 40 count linen straw by Weeks Dye Works with the called for threads. And I have renamed Deborah the Flaming Needle because she is knocking them out. And then this one is from Lorraine. And Lorraine sent her finish of Yellow Submarine by Blackbird Designs. I also got to see a sweet little picture of the young man that she gave it to, which is her 3-year-old grandson. So she did that and gifted, and he had a smile from ear to ear. So thank you, Lorraine, for sending that. Kate, I will put her Instagram down below. I have done that before. It finished Baldequin Birdies by Modern Folk Embroidery. She stitched this on a 56 count white clay, by Fox and Rabbit with painter's threads 103. So there is some, I think there's some variegation if I understand that right. And the color of that was Klee, Klee. Now, Kate and Natalia and I all started Baltic Birdies together. And Natalia, I will put her Instagram below on the screen because she posted recently her picture. Oh, it's just beautiful. So I think they're well ahead of me, but I keep plugging along. And then finally, Anne, who is on Instagram as the selfish_stitcher, sent me a photograph of her newly displayed sampler wall. And I know a lot of you follow her on Instagram, and if you don't, you should, because she is an incredibly, she's a beautiful stitcher, but she is very creative and thinks out of the box, and is wonderful at personalizing her pieces. So the highlight of her sampler wall is the Virginia sampler by Teresa Baird that she certainly personalized, and it was done for her 50th wedding anniversary. So, wow, just that is just some incredible stitching that we all got to take part in. So thank all of you for sharing those with me, and please, please, please keep sending them because I love to share them, and everyone loves to see your stitching. So that was the shares. So I guess we're going to dive into my stitching. Whew. So I actually have one fully finished and 2 other finishes. I have 2 new starts, and I have an overflowing bag of laundry basket of whips, which are works in progress. Works in progress. I still stand by this is just water. Yes. Anyway, okay. So my fully finished, and I am so excited about this, is Partridge and Pear. Let me put that behind. Oh my gosh, I am just so excited. Oh. This is by Satsuma Street. I did do a beaded hanger. I put the sticky felt on the back, and I am just gaga over it. So that is my fully finish, and I'm so excited. Okay, my finish, my 2 finishes, one is, ta-da, which is the Little Owl Patchwork Sampler Sal from the Historical Sampler Company. And my plan with this is to work it into a project bag. I am so happy that I got this finished. So now I can start one of the next stitch alongs. So this is stitched on a 32 count linen that came with the stitch along. And I used the called for DMC. So, yay. My next finish I am equally excited about, although it was a smaller piece, but it is Her Own Thoughts. This is by Sobe Stitchery, Sarah. We don't want to just necessarily count threads because there are a couple of mistakes that sadden me because I wanted to do it perfect for Sarah, but I don't think you can see where they are. I love these sweet little flowers. I do plan to make it into a pillow, probably very much like what is on the cover. So that is Her Own Thoughts, Jane Austen, 1814. And that is stitched on a 46 count tea-dyed linen by Steph of Lake Girl Stitches. So yay! I'm very happy that I had those finishes. So I also had 2 new starts. No surprise on this one because the lovely Sarah of Sarah sent this to me, and boy, you know I'm going to jump right on that. So I do just have a small start on it, and I'll put it. So that's where I am. And it is a full kit, so I'm using the called for threads, and of course it'll have beads and sequins. So Sarah, thank you so much. You recognize the joy that these kits bring to me, and it lives in my beautiful bag that was made by Jan of Hoop It Up with Jan. So that was the first new start. My second new start is from the Prairie Schooler book number 88, and I chose this one. I call him Apple Santa. And I was just picking up scraps to do it on. I have been doing a lot of those on Murky, but the color wasn't showing up on the Murky the way I wanted it. So I switched to, this is a piece of, oh my goodness, hog bristle from Fox and Rabbit. And I really like it. And what I'm very excited about is Deborah, Shingle Spring Stitcher, found a place that had floss because it's been a little hard to come by. And I used it, and I love the way it pops. It is fantastic. So she ordered a couple of hanks of it, and she sent me one. So that is Apple Santa, really not much left, that I will probably make into an ornament. I think that'll be the plan. So that was my second new start, and I'm using all the called for DMC. I'm stitching it 1/2 on the 36 count hog bristle. Okay, so I think, is that the pieces? Well, there'll be another fully finished, but I was going to let it come out when I did my when I showed you my works in progress. Okay, so let's get started. The first one was I owed another couple of days on Tom's Foolery by Hands Across the Sea from the July Whip Go. And I am stitching this on a 36 count Ghostly Shadows by XJU Design. I'm using the called for DMC, and this is what I've got. So I took the outline of this all the way across. Let's see, I know I put a thread or two in this roof. I finished this tree, whatever this little doodad is, and this little doodad, and then started this. This sweet child just was gonna put something everywhere she could. So that is Tom's Foolery. It did get its full 3 days. So far I have kept up with my Whip Go goals. And it's just a joy to work on. But you know, this border it's no joke, because you know, then you've got 2 colors to fill in the green diamonds. But that is Tom's Foolery by Hands Across the Sea. Okay, and as we've all talked about, but it's always worth mentioning, the DMC conversion that Nicola does for these projects are spot on. And I appreciate that attention to detail. Okay, so as I was trying to do a lot of Christmas in July, I showed this last time, but I did work on Merry Santa again from Teresa Kogut. And I am stitching this on a piece of 36 count Cola by XG Designs, and I'm using the called for DMC. I think, yeah, this was a Patreon chart. And so what I did, since you've seen it last, I got the house done here. So that is done, and I worked on Santa's coat until I realized I'm gonna have to take out this R and Y. I had to take out both R's, the R and the Y, but I took out the first R because I had put it one over too far, and the coat was going to run into it. It just didn't work. So the R and the Y will still need to be frogged. Sad, but the house is in. So it's getting very close, except that, you know, it's a bear of a Santa's coat, and it has a lot of little stitches in to put that wreath. But we'll get it. Okay. Next we have my birthday start this year, which was a daily reminder. And Judy, Stitching Bunny, and Marcy of Amnicon Studio also, and Holly of Hobbies with Holly. We all started this for June birthdays. And I am stitching this on a 40 count arboreal from Cedar River Linens. And I'm using the Vicki Clayton silks. And I'm stitching it 1/2. So it is slow going. It's going to be a slow going, but I'm enjoying it very much. And I think the way the colors pop on this is. So I got Be Good, and I finished the N and the O, and I put this little guy down right there. So that's where we are on this. But I love to hold this back and let you behold that gorgeous color. I mean, those threads literally just pop off. So that is a daily reminder by Brenda Gervais. I think I failed to say that, with Thy Needle and Thread. And I am enjoying working on it very, very much. My birthday start last year, which was Mary Florence Dickinson. I hate doing this, because when I bring these things up and then I can't remember the exact names, but Beth Sampler Stitcher, I think that's her Instagram. I'll put it below. She has a finished and framed from, who's the framer that everyone uses? Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. You guys know, it's the one Brenda and Laura use. Well, she had a beautiful finish, and there's been a couple of finishes that I've seen recently that have really made me want to pick up Mary Florence Dickinson again as well, which I will probably be doing in August and September that we'll talk about. I cannot think of the name of that. It's going to make me crazy, but it'll probably come, and then I'll just burn it out in the middle of no context. But anyway, okay, my next piece is Nectar Hummingbirds by the Artsy Housewife. I'm going to speak just a minute about the hummingbirds. One of the reasons that I think I have so many, this is, I am guessing, is we have a little fountain. You know those fountains that you fill, and it's got a pump, and it dumps to here, dumps it to here, dumps it to here, dumps it to there, it goes back. We have one of those right by their feeders. And I've wondered if the water as well attracts them. If you go back, if you've listened to the videos I take, you can hear that fountain. And I've often wondered about that. I am also extremely anal about the feeders. I boil the water when I make their sugar water every time. their feeders are cleaned out every time. I have 4 feeders and I rotate them. But anyway, I love them and I have so many, and I don't take them for granted. But so this was no surprise. I actually started this for the June cross stitch camp hosted by Sherry, Colorado cross stitcher. I am stitching this on a piece of 25 count Lugana, a Rugged Rochester by Those Missing Stitches. I am stitching this 1/1 with the called for DMC. So I got the top. So the top this is completely done. Well, except for the centers. And the brown there is 3371. And the centers are 310. And I think I'm gonna do the centers either in this gold or that brown, because the black and the 3371, there's just not enough of a contrast for me. So I got to start. This is completely finished, the sunflower, and then this is going to be the hummingbird right in here. Let's pull that thread out of the way. So that is Nectar by the Artsy Housewife. And my plans will probably be to make another project bag with that when I finish it. And it lives in my beautiful birthday bag that was made by Steph, Lake Girl Stitches with the Lori Hope panels and fabric. So, okay. Next we have, this was my second whip go for the month of July. I'm going to take a drink. We have warmed up here a little bit, so and that was this Juneteenth Day by the Shaded Stitchery. Nuri has shown her new releases, which are fabulous, but there's one called Broken Wings that is absolutely stunning. She is a fabulous designer. So I just was looking at it. I'm stitching this on 36 count Summer Khaki by, I think that's just a Zweigart base, plain Zweigart. And I'm using the called for DMC. And let's see where I got. This also got its 3 days. So, oh yeah, I got these words finished. So both of the urns are finished with the flowers. And then I always come up and try to put a thread there. I think this was already here when I showed it last time. So that is this Juneteenth Day by Shaded Stitchery. Corynne of KristineSearle is also working on this. Many people have stitched this, which since I've seen you last, we had the Midsummer Stitch, and I did get to stitch in a room with Corynne, and a lot of people, but it was really nice because I had not done that with Corynne, other than she was one of the guest FlossTubers on the Zooms that I have, but she's just delightful and makes incredible project bags. She's on Etsy as Layla Creates. I'll put it below. I get excited and just start talking, and then I really don't know things concretely enough to be talking about them. But anyway, okay, then my Thursday red sampler piece is French Fancy by Mama Loves You GB. And I am stitching this on 56 count Coffee au lait, and I'm using the Avera Soie Surfine in the number 2644, which was one of Jean's favorites. And so I worked on this border, and I got the G in. Am I showing it? Yeah. I got the G in and started the F. So I know you guys will be seeing this a lot. I hope that's okay, because it is, you know, obviously just a little slower stitch. But oh my goodness, how I love stitching on it. So that is A French Fancy by Mama Loves You GB. I always make sure my Swasserfine is in there. I'm always afraid it's going to roll out and I'm not going to be able to find it. Okay. Then, as we talked about before, this is Baldequin Birdies by Modern Folk Embroidery. And I am stitching this as the focus piece for Andrew, the Runner Stitcher, hashtag Whip into Shape, which is stitching 10 stitches for every mile that he runs in his training for his marathon in Sydney, Australia in August, at the end of August. Now, Andrew he had an injury that he was nursing and trying to get better. My choice was to do the stitches for the miles that he would have run last week. So I am up to date. I have kept up with this stitch along. And I am stitching it on a 25 count light mushroom Lugana, and I'm using the Pirate and Robin cotton floss in the color Redstone. And so I have continued to work in this area here, so that's my progress. I think I'm trying to get this all the way to the bottom, and then maybe I could get rid of some of this fabric. So that is Baldequin Birdies 1/1 on 25 count Lugana. Okay. And you know, thank you, Andrew, because I have seen on your stories on Instagram, so many people are getting are having so much progress on their pieces, getting finishes, and it's all because we're very excited to train with you on our couches or our recliners or anywhere that it's not 99 degrees and 80% humidity. Oh, that poor kid. I don't know how he does it. Oh, okay. Well, this was my new start from last time, but it has a new home. So this is Lit, again, by the Artsy Housewife. Won my heart from the moment I saw it. It's got a lot of stitching. And I'm stitching this on a 40 count, is that right? 40 count maple bar by Cedar River Linen. I am using the called for overdyed flosses. And this is my progress. So I am just, I'm working on this corner flower. I've got one antler started, but primarily pulled this border down here, which it has a lot of stitches. So probably won't see a finish on this year, but that's okay. If you want to see a fabulous finish, go to, it's probably 2 or 3 FlossTubes back for Anna and Carolyn on, it was Carolyn's finish of Lit, which is just breathtaking. So that is Lit, but its new home is, so this is a project bag. If you guys remember, I found these, I don't know what they were. They could have been placemats, but I wasn't gonna let anyone eat on my stitching. These are Prairie Schoolers because someone told me, and I made a project bag. And it's got like, you know, a light, 2 kinds, you know me. I just piece it together. But anyway, I'm so happy. So I've got 2 or 3 more of these panels like this. I may cut one Santa out and make a pillow or an ornament, but I think I'll try to make project bags. So that is Lit's new home, because I'm sadly, I think this is the only one of the only legitimate Christmas project bags I have. Okay. Then I've got a couple of pieces that I just pulled out because I just really wanted to work on them. I know I was trying to do Christmas in July, but one of them was the Newcastle bouquet biscornu. And the reason is I want to make a biscornu. I don't think I'm going to finish the stitching on this year. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I do love it, and I love the colors, and so I'm just going to stick with it, but I just wanted to stitch on it, so I pulled it out. And I'm stitching this on a 40 count Hemingway by Needle and Flax, and I'm using the called for overdyed and DMC. So I got a lot more work done on one of the 4 butterflies over in here. So this is the area that I was working in. So I'm enjoying the process, but I don't think I'll get a biscornu made this year. Okay, so that, and it lives in this sweet, sweet, sweet little bag that Cindy made me. Thank you, Cindy. All right, my next one is, it's an artsy housewife kind of day, is Fairy Reindeer. I just love it. This tends to be a happy hour stitch. So, you know, it gets maybe an hour, hour and a half. And I'm stitching this on a piece of 36 count heirloom lace with the call for DMC. But every fairy should have her wand, and I got the outline of her wand in and worked more on the outline here of her beautiful green dress. So that is Fairy Reindeer by the Artsy Housewife. It's a joy to stitch on, and it will probably remain sort of in a happy hour rotation because I could probably get that finished by this Christmas. Okay, this is the other one that who knows, you know, Christmas in July, but I had to work on it, and that is Elizabeth Stevenson, Queen of the May, Hands Across the Sea. And I started this with Alicia of Upper Meadow Design Company. She also makes fabulous project bags on Etsy. I am stitching this on a piece of 40 count Cream and Sugar by Fiber on a Whim, and I'm using Victoria Clayton silks and my border mitt. So I am going to be able to get rid of some of this fabric. So, and I got a little bit of color in. I was just dying to do it. So the border mitt, there it is. Yay. So I thought that that would give me a nice start, you know, for for working on this during my August and September of cross stitch samplers. Okay, so, and I love this Fiber on a Whim as well. It's just lovely, and it lives in this beautiful bag that Alicia made, one for each of us. And it is this, you know, the style with the zipper at the top. So thank you, Alicia, for that. I really enjoy it. And we'll put all this in its bag. Okay. Next we have Pet All the Dogs. But Pet All the Dogs has Pet All the Dogs stitched on it now. So this is a Teresa Kogut. It is my oldest whip. are just behind pandemic. And I am stitching this on a piece of 36 count weeks, the old weeks in the color Aspen. I'm using the called for overdyed in DMC. So here's what we got going here. We got, the house is completed. Door is finished, windows done, and we got in Pet All the Dogs. I am working across, so all the red, the red is in on this sawtooth, and I'm starting to fill that in. I did, this morning, I did a complete doggy, but you see those doggies run all the way across. So I need to make myself do those. There's sort of a mixture of well, there's actually 4 colors in each dog, and 2 of those colors are just 1 stitch each of a 1/1 stitch. And my border is complete. All the flowers are in. So it's getting there. It's getting there. I'm doing it more as a 2 threads a day than I am a 7 days. And I'll have to, and I'm okay with that because of kind of how I plan to do August and September. So, you know, I'll talk more about that in plans. And my final piece is what I worked on today, and that is, again, a Christmas piece, Merry and Bright, by Cottage Garden Samplings. And I am stitching this on a 36 count piece, a 36 count eucalyptus by Fox and Rabbit, and I am using the called for overdyed. And so what I did this morning was I completely finished the sleigh and colored it in, and then I started, there's some greenery right in here. I wanted to get the sleigh in, so because the bird is right here, and I want to be able to start the bird at the top and work down. So that is Merry and Bright by Cottage Garden Samplings. And it'll probably maybe come out sort of intermittently through Christmas, but again, it's another piece that I don't think will be finished at Christmas. So those are all of my works in progress for this time. So I got quite a bit of stitching done here. Oh, let me stick this in here. I'll show you my lot of stitching every day. I have one more day left, but it is a Thursday, so I will be doing my red sampler stitching on that, and maybe something Christmassy for happy hour. Okay, so my plans. Let's turn this over. The WIPGO numbers for August have been called, and I could not be more thrilled that they were 12 and 15. And that is Little Birds by Blackbird Designs and Katharina Adriana Lewinson. So I just showed Katharina not that long ago with that big, beautiful bird. So I'm hoping to get a lot more work done on that, as well as Little Birds, which is huge, and the border is quite intense on that. It takes me almost a morning to do one of those flowers because they're stitch heavy, but I'm so excited to work on it. That was my start for Miss Betsy Klager's 60th birthday, and it deserves to get a finish. So my plans, what I'm thinking, and so it's not in concrete, but because I don't really like to stitch on one thing the entire day, I'm thinking about giving a sampler 5 half days in the week, and then working on other samplers in the morning. So one sampler each week will get those 5 days, well, I guess really 4 days because of my red sampler Thursday. Because my Sunday is going to be Christmas stitching, And my Saturday, I might get to do some work on a sampler then, but my Saturday mornings are when I put in the stitches for Baldequin Birdies. So might be able to give you a little more detail on exactly what samplers, but I will definitely use my whip go calls, and instead of the 3 days, try to give them the 5. And I'm going to do that all the way through September. So it's kind of, patterning myself a little bit after Nerissa's lifestyle. If you're not watching her, oh, please go watch her. I can't imagine that you're not. She's fabulous. So those are my plans. And there's probably going to be, a couple of new starts, samplers. I mean, I just can't imagine not doing it. So those are my plans. So I had one thing that I got, is that right? Stitchy, a haul. And they are, I got these 3 colors of threads from Stitchy Stuff. Jim, this is all your fault. And look, Jim is doing the Fox and Rabbit stitch along, yearly stitch along in this color. And I hope she doesn't mind, but I might steal it. Or I would do another similar kind of piece. Her stitching on that is so beautiful, it took my breath away. So, and then, I always want red, which, going back to plans, I think I am going to do the quintessential freeze-on smalls that Jacob has released and is going to show the finishing techniques. So I thought some red would be nice for that, but I don't know if you can see there. It's just the most gentle of variegation. And then this one, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I had to have it. So I will put her Etsy store down below. It's called Stitchy Stuff, and Miss Jim of Stitching Jim influenced me on that. So now I did have some happy mail I wanted to show, and firstly, I want you to look at this card. How gorgeous. And this is from Sandy. And Sandy won a giveaway, and she sent a card, which you don't have to do. But Sandy, I was really touched. This is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So I couldn't not show that because it's just beautiful. So thank you so much. Then Deborah, as I mentioned, sent me the hank of floche, and she is sharing the autumn swan, and a piece of 36 count murky, and you guys know I love it for prairie schoolers. So Deborah, thank you so much. This will all be used. Then I got from Debbie, and Debbie was in a Zoom not too long ago. She sent this beautiful card. Oh, and Deborah had a beautiful card as well. This beautiful card and some charts that for me to use as giveaways, but there is one chart that I am definitely going to start. So Strawberry Fields was one of them, and you guys know I have stitched this, so this will definitely be a giveaway. Elizabeth Hunt, 1845 by With Thy Needle and Thread, and this is very intriguing to me. Oh Marie by Reflet de Soie, and I don't know if I would stitch this whole thing, but I would certainly like to do that as a small. because I want to see what this is like, because I do want to do a reflet de soie, but this is beautiful. But this, and Debbie saw this on my 1, 2, 3 wish list, and so it's GH 1857, and that is by Simone de Jong van Wiesen, and it's from the Atelier Soidadi. So I'm very excited because I love everything in it. It's just fabulous. I want to do everything. I know I won't get to, but I'll sure try. So Debbie, thank you, and you guys will be thanking Debbie as well, because you will. I will be using some of those as giveaways. So let's recap a little. Okay, I've called off the 10 names for the Zoom. So if you have not filled out the Google form so that I have your email, please do that. That will all be in the description box below. The giveaway for the United States only will be the July Cotton and Twine box from Historical Sampler Company. And the giveaway word is B. So put B in your comment, as well as Zoom, just so we don't end up, or just so I don't end up confused. And I think I've, and then Fluffy Turtles. If you see this, you did win the Nashville cookbook. So please send me your address, as well as for the Clara Ellens by Blackbird Design. That's Mary Twombly, Jane K-O3M. And as far as the giveaways are concerned, please don't use the words like giveaway, prize, freebie, winner, anything like that. And you do need to be 18 or older so that I could ask you for your address. So I think I've done everything on the list. I know at this point in the video, I tend to say the same thing, but I'm not going to stop saying it, because it seems like as every day goes by, we need to really up our game on love, compassion, empathy. And as FlossTubers, in different times that we talk together, one of the hardest things for me and many others is, with everything that's going on in our world, to talk about cross stitch. Sometimes it feels so trite. But I heard a woman that I listened to her on YouTube, who is an incredible historian, Heather Cox Richardson. She said something that I'm taking to heart. It was in, like, well, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? I can't go to Gaza. I can't do the things that would actually physically give relief to people. But she said, make your part of the world, your part of make it a beautiful place. And I think we all do that with our cross stitch. I think we make the world a better place. And it made my heart, it eased my heart a little bit to know that maybe there is a little something that is making things better for someone. So remember, we are a force of love. We are a force of compassion. We are a force of empathy. And let's just keep making our world more beautiful in the hopes that it will spread far enough to give real hope and relief to others. So I think I've covered everything on the table, so I'm going to ask you to pick up your project, get comfortable, and stitch what you love. I love every one of you from the bottom of my heart. 3 years of your kindness and your support and your comments are priceless. So, bye-bye until next time.
Hiya. Peekaboo.